Lake Commandos don't like to lose. Not to the lake, not to the fish, and especially not to each other.
Look at that fish.
So when you get two serious commandos together with completely opposite views on how to beat a tough bite, the big fish fireworks are a guarantee.
There he goes. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I love fishing new water. The challenge is always the same. Find fish, trigger strikes. Ooh, that's a big fish. But what I really love is beating the other guy. I got a fish. This is Lake Commandos.
The road less traveled. For a commando, that's the road that often leads to success. Today, Steve Benez renews an ongoing commando battle with professional angler Tommy Skarlis, who's one of the nation's most successful walleye pros. But today, he'll be switching gears to chase largemouth bass on unfamiliar water that's also highly pressured.
Wow.
No algae blooms yet?
No, look at this. Hard sand, rock, bottom.
Did you see all the bluegills?
Oh, look at them all.
Some nice ones down there too.
Yeah.
At just under 600 acres, this battleground is small and heavily populated, not only with people, but also big bass that utilize an abundance of thick vegetation. The mission will be to locate and catch those bass under difficult post-cold front conditions.
The last time that we fished against each other, we tied. So you know, you got that 0-0-1. No, I want to make it 1-0-1. The equipment that I'm going to be using to address this bite is a 7-foot medium fast action rod. I've teamed it with an Abu Garcia Aura SX 30, so I've got a lot of line on here. And I'm using lighter line. I'm using something that maybe a line-shy fish in a clear water lake like we're fishing is not going to be able to pick up this Trilene XL 8-pound test. And then the bait that I've got on here is actually a homemade do-it jig that I made myself. This is a power bait worm that I've actually got some insider information on what the hot bait is, which this is a Tequila Sunrise power bait jig worm. And this thing right here, I don't normally like tequila, but when it comes to power bait, I really like it. But with a natural lake like this, small impoundment, insider information, I definitely think I got a shot to take Steve on Lake Commandos.
Hey, it is mid-July. We've got a little bit of a front that just came through. Water temps should be around 72 to 74. It's a clear lake from what I understand, a natural lake. Deep weed lines will be a ticket today, and we're gonna be working a lot of deep weed lines, especially along the main lake basin. Berkeley's got a brand new line of hard baits. They're phenomenal. This is the Digger 8.5. It's one of my favorite baits in the whole line already. It's designed to dive down to 8.5 feet. Perfect for working these outside weed lines, especially if you're finding fish on the top or the medium side down. Now in terms of line, I love braid, I love fuse line like nanofill, and I love fluorocarbon, but today I'm gonna be fishing mono. Mono is the best line for day-to-day crankbait fishing, and today I'm going with 10-pound Berkeley XT. I'm throwing it on a Revo Premier reel. It's geared 7.1 to 1 retrieve. It's a little bit fast. I'm gonna try and crank it a little bit slow, but I like speed. If you can get away with speed, it allows you to cover water faster, and I like faster geared reels. If I need to, I'll go down to a 6.4 to 1 or even 5.4 to 1, but I'll let the fish tell me. I'm throwing this on a winch series rod. This is an Abu Garcia Veritas winch. This is the rig, this is the bait that's taking Tommy Skarlis down today.
My initial impression of the body of water when we rolled up to it, actually it looked a lot bigger than I thought it was gonna be, which meant, you know, it was gonna be maybe a little bit more difficult to find the fish.
The Commandos will start with Tommy's soft plastic program on the deep weed edge, and the finesse bite is on fire from the start.
The one thing I can imagine with this clear water and these sparser weeds you get out here, there's one. No, his first cast. Oh.
By the way, nice fish too. By the way, I forgot the fray bill. So we're gonna have to hand land everything. If you want credit, it's gotta be in the boat.
You know, and here I got finesse, an 8-pound test. You know, you always got to be pulling this stuff on me.
Not my fault you picked the wrong pattern.
I don't really know how to land these things.
How big a fish is that? Oh, nice one.
Ah! Come here.
There's a school out here, Tommy. You can mess around with your little fish. I'm gonna get it in.
You mess around with my little fish. That one don't count. That one's not legal.
Here's a situation where finesse may be slowing you down today, baby. Oh, this is scary. 2 casts, 2 fish.
And he ate it.
Yeah, he
did. Look at that too. He's been caught before.
Oh yeah.
You know, so that's what's awesome about catch and release, especially with these bass. You know, if they were edible, they're so unintelligent that the bass angler would have nothing to fish for. But when you let a fish go, this one's been caught twice. Somebody's got an opportunity now to catch it a 3rd time.
Most anglers are a little superstitious about catching a fish on the first cast, but 2 on 2 first casts? We're in uncharted waters.
Yeah. Tommy, good one.
Oh yeah.
Lake Commandos is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Power Pole, shallow water anchor, swift, silent, secure. Abu Garcia, for life. Fraybill, trusted gear since 1938. Berkeley Powerbait, fish bite and won't let go. And by Quebec Outfitters, enter to win your ultimate fishing trip. On a small natural lake known for big largemouth, Commandos Steve Penaz and Tommy Skarlis are trying to overcome tough post-cold front conditions. But few anglers have had more success figuring out a tough bite than Tommy Skarlis. He's one of the most successful professional walleye anglers in the country, with multiple tournament wins across multiple professional circuits, including being named the 2004 Professional Walleye Trail Angler of the Year and winning the 2011 FLW Walleye Tour National Championship. And in 2011, Outdoor Life named him one of the top 10 anglers on the planet.
Tommy is a world-class jig fisherman. He's made more than $1 million fishing tournaments with jigs. This guy is world-class. In fact, he took 2nd in a major walleye tournament just a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
is that a fish?
That's a good fish.
That's the one I just had on. You got half the coontail in the lake with it.
That's not a big one, but
no, but it's a nice one.
Yeah, victory!
4. Ugh.
You know, another key to what we're doing here too in this program is you try to fish the weeds with the wind or against the wind. In other words, I don't like fishing across the waves. I like going straight with the wind, because what the wind will do is the current from the wind will lay those weeds down, and it's easier to bring your jig through that weed forest, through those stalks, than across them. So if you can imagine my fingers are the weeds, it's a lot easier to get through them when they're like this than when they're like this. The referee just crossed his arms. He's thinking, wondering if he could go take a break. There's another one.
Oh, man. All right, Tequila Sunrise, here I come.
It's another. Oh, check that one out, Steve, just for you.
Local information trumps Penaz.
And they are eating it. Look at that. All the way down. You know, I tell you what, it's proved to be a benefit fishing this smaller walleye style head or smaller
What
jig
size
head.
head you got on?
Can't tell you.
One of the biggest challenges anglers have is right here. When you lose your confidence or when you get frustrated, you got to step back and you got to change things. Change locations, change colors, change presentation, change something until you get back in the groove.
Oh! Look at that. That's a good fish.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
That's a quality fish. Anytime you can almost put your fist in the fish's mouth, that's pretty decent largemouth.
Tommy has used the jig worm to build a commanding lead. Can Penaz return the favor with the crankbait? We'll find out.
Ethanol is added to the majority of today's fuel supply. What does this mean for your outboard? There's a couple of issues. One, ethanol attracts water molecules from the air which can build up in your fuel tank, and ingested by your outboard can cause significant damage. While many new boats have closed fuel systems, others are vented to the atmosphere, which allows moisture to enter the tank where it collects over time. Secondly, ethanol is a powerful solvent that can loosen debris in your fuel tank and lines. It can cause everything from running issues to shutting your outboard down. And these problems are experienced with E10 ethanol. Now there's E15. E15 contains 15% alcohol, enough to cause major issues. Don't use E15 in your outboard. Yamaha outboards are designed to run well on E10 ethanol, although it's recommended to use additives like Yamalube Fuel Stabilizer and Conditioner Plus to combat ethanol-related problems. When it comes to achieving peak performance, maintenance matters.
This segment is brought to you by Yeti Coolers. Yeti, built for the wild. Professional angler Tommy Skarlis is in complete control of today's Commando battle with Steve Panaz. But they've moved from Tommy's Power Worm to Steve's Berkeley Digger Crankbait, and Panaz hopes the tide will turn as well. They started with the Digger 8.5 on the outside weed edge, but the deep vegetation was so thick it was impossible to work the baits properly. So they quickly changed gears to the Berkeley Pitbull 5.5 and moved to the shallow inside weed line.
These square bills are nice for fishing this shallow water. They're designed to deflect off cover and stuff. They run about 5.5 feet. I want a little bit heavier line here just to keep it from going too deep in this shallow water. But Tommy, I got one.
You do?
Good fish too. Don't jump.
It looks like a good one.
Jump. Swing him in. Oh yeah, look at that one. Woo, good fish. Hey, this lake today held a lot of surprises. Number one, when you look at the stat sheet, it's about 450 acres. It's a natural lake. It's got a main lake basin. But what I didn't expect was how big this lake fished. Even a smaller body of water like this has 4 miles of shoreline. You've got to fish fast. You got to fish effectively. One of the ways you can do that is to look at your mapping package, look at your sonar, and today we relied on the Garmin. We looked for small spots that were underwater points. We look for major structure, and then we look for the small structure.
The crankbait has helped Panaz close the gap with Tommy Skarlis, but the fish have mostly been on the small side. So for the final 2 hours of the day, the Commandos have agreed to go back to the soft plastics in hopes of tracking down some bigger biters.
You know, Steve, I think this is a good strategy though, and I really appreciate you giving up control, but this is where the bigger ones are at. And you got to respect a man that would be willing to forsake his ego for big fish.
I got a better ego on big fish. You got a bite?
And I'm moving it real slow. Yeah, there's one. Oh, that's a good one.
Is it?
Yep, we were out a little bit deeper there. We were out about 17, 18 foot of water.
Oh, it is a bass too. It is a bass.
And he just picked it up and then he dropped it, and he picked it up and he dropped it. I was slow rolling across the bottom.
Nice.
Woo!
Real nice.
You know, I never really do the woo thing unless I'm bass fishing.
Walleyes never jump.
Well, not unless you reel them that way. He's not a real big one, but he's a good one. A lot better quality than those dock wieners. I was really fascinated with how microized the bite was today. And what I mean by that is, normally when you've got a bite that's on a weed edge, it can be a range of about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 feet, where this one was shrunken down. So instead of being, say, 8 to 14 feet, it was right in that 12 to 13 foot band. If you were out 14, 15 foot of water with your lure, no dice. If you were up shallower than that, wasn't happening. So we really had to focus, slow down, and concentrate on that small band of water.
Man, that's a powerful fish. Look at that.
Woo! Yeah, there's one.
You got it.
We got a double. Oh!
Tommy, look at the size of this bass.
Woo! Oh, wow, dude.
Yes. That is the best one today.
Well, I don't know. I don't have mine in yet.
You got a good one too?
I got a whale.
You got one on.
Yeah. And he hasn't jumped yet.
Oh, look at the size of that guy.
Holy cow! What a toad!
There's the bass right there, baby.
Woo! Here's mine's gonna jump.
Oh, you got a giant too.
Oh!
A double.
A double. A double of giants.
Oh, man.
How monumental is that?
That's awesome.
You know what though? Mine isn't as big as yours, but I'll take it.
Hey, that's a great fish.
Look at that. 2 giants. This one's full of food. Good
That
fish.
is nice fish.
You know what, Steve? That was a great call. You said, let's go back to the worms. Our bigger fish are coming on them. We're not going to do anything other than 7-inch or bigger. I put the 7-inch on after you put the 10-inch on. And what an adjustment and what a move. That's awesome.
It's been a back and forth grind, but as is so often the case, the Lake Commandos are dialing in the boss bass. And when that happens, hang on tight.
It's a powerful fish.
Lake Commandos is brought to you by Yamaha. Reliability starts here. Garmin, fight your fish, not your fish finder. Abu Garcia, for life. Berkeley Trilene, Anglers Trust Berkeley Trilene. Yeti, built for the wild. And by Aquaview, see what's really down there. Time is running out on this Lake Commandos Classic, and time is running out for Steve Panaz, who needs a late-day surge to catch Tommy Skarlis.
Yeah. Ooh, Tommy, good one.
Oh yeah.
Good fish.
Woo! I think that was the ticket, changing spots. Did you
I'm
have
back.
the big worm on?
I went to a red shad, but I'm back on a 10-inch worm here. It's a good fish. He's gonna jump. Is it a bass or a pike? That's bass.
Oh,
nice
it's a good bass. Good
Yeah.
bass. He got in the weeds. He can't jump. He's handcuffed.
Nice. I'm gonna swing him.
That's awesome.
That's a nice fish. Look at that. I really like these offset hooks for worms versus the extra wide gap. I just prefer this worm style. This is a Fusion 19 hook. It's a Berkeley hook. It's in size 4. And it's a great hook for these great big worms. Got one?
Oh!
Another stud.
Yeah. That's a good one. This is the best fish I've had on
One
today.
on this side. He's gonna jump.
Oh yeah.
There's a, oh, nice.
Oh.
Oh, nice fish.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a pot of those.
You know,
here.
and he's short, but he's big. Oh.
That's what we're looking for right there, baby. Nice.
Got the salad.
Oh.
Miss one?
Yes.
You know, they're still not that aggressive. They're still, he just picked it up and started swimming with it. He was hooked right in the edge of the lip there.
A color can be the most important thing of the day, or it can have no importance at all. Today, it had a big difference. Now, Tommy had a little local knowledge that helped him pick the Tequila Sunrise, which is a very bright colored worm. It's not one that I typically use in a clear body of water, especially in northern natural lakes. But we caught a lot of bluegills today, and they had vivid colors, bright blues, bright greens. They were vividly colored, and Tommy's pattern actually matched them better. I started off with black blue. I got one fish on the first cast. I thought I had that nailed. It's a great color normally here, but I ended up switching to red shad by the end of the day in that 10-inch worm, and I think it matched the hatch better. All I can tell you is it caught a lot more fish. Ooh, Tommy.
Ooh, that looks like a good one. You don't got a ton of weeds on him, do you?
He was in the weeds, but he's out now. This is a good fish.
Yeah, I can tell by the bend in your rod. That's awesome.
Don't jump, don't jump. You know what? The bad news is, I'm not gonna have time to catch you today, but the good news is, ooh, look at this fish.
Oh, that's
Look
the
at this
best
guy.
one of the day. Oh! What a whale!
That's a stud right there.
That is truly a Lake Commando fish. That's an awesome bass. Look at this, he's been caught before. He's got a hook hole right here. Yep. But yeah. Well, I'm gonna take this as a victory for me, but the truth is you won the commando mission today. Good job, you outfished me. You flat out outfished me this morning when it got tough, but I think it was one of those things too where we had to get a little bit later in the day and these fish had to recover a little bit. It might have been that, it might have been the new area that we moved to. It was a bigger bait, we were catching fewer fish. Even with the smaller baits, we weren't getting bit. Well, it's one of those things about when you get on a new body of water, you want to look for the little things, and you figured it out, dude, Commando champ, but we're gonna have a rematch because you're not gonna go away winner all the time. It's 1-0-1, baby.
Hey, if you want to win what works for us, visit lakecommandos.com or check out our Facebook page.
I'm Captain George Mitchell. This is Coastal Chaos. Mr. Redfish, look at that bad boy. Woo! To catch more fish, learn to keep your boat in the red zone. The red zone is the spot on the spot, the place to catch more fish. For bottom dwellers like cobias, snappers, and groupers, it's going to be a specific spot, like a rock pile or a structure. Got him. Got him. Feels like a nice mangrove. Feels like a nice mangrove. That's our dinner. Other species may key on temperature breaks or maybe something as small as a weed patch. Either way, your job is to stay right on top of them. Wind, currents, and tides all impact boat positioning, and most of the time in unpredictable ways. Fortunately though, there are incredible tools available. We're going to be fishing right up current of this buoy, and we're actually going to be fishing the big block of concrete that holds the buoy in position. That's where the Helm Master joystick comes into play. You can maneuver the boat, keep yourself right there, keep yourself right in the red zone, we'll catch the big ones. There he is. Coastal Chaos, tips for serious saltwater anglers.